we've been, in our ethics presentations, we've been looking at several pictures of things like war situations and 9/11 and last year. If you have a picture or a story that is going to traumatise the victims or the family, but it's a story that needs to be told, like you're saying, then where do you draw the line?
Well, where do you draw the line? What do you think? Let me throw it back to you.
I don't know.
Let me give you
That's partly the answer as well.
Partly it's always going to be different, right? You need to be asking the question, not thinking that there is a one line. But I would say this. There's a little bit of evidence on this. Strong images or stories can be distressing to people. There's not a lot of evidence that being interviewed or having your picture taken is by itself going to be traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the event. It's the 9/11 that is the source of trauma, not the picture. But the question you need to ask yourself is, what's the intent of my story? Here's a very specific example that comes up pretty much every year. Came up especially with the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Some of the victim families feel very strongly that there should be no images shown ever again of people jumping from the towers. Right. Families feel that this is the scene of the death of their loved one, and they find that too upsetting. News executives say, well, I mean, and all of our impulse, my own as a journalist, is to say, well, but this is the event, you have to show it.
That happened.
Right? Yeah, it happened. There are ways of striking a balance. You can say, people do need to know this, but we won't show more than necessary. Well, maybe we'll show one photo instead of 15. Or maybe we put it up on the web for 2 days and then we take it down. There's all kinds of ways of compromising, thinking about the distress versus the news value and how to balance that. After the massacre at Virginia Tech University in the U.S., the shooter sent a video of himself to news stations before he was himself killed. And the networks had this big argument, should we show this thing? It doesn't have news value. They actually consulted some psychiatrists who said, well, you do fear copycats. There are people who are going to get obsessed with this, but mostly that's going to be people who watch it repetitively over time. And on the other hand, the reporter said there is some news value in this because it shows how crazy Cho really was. It was a very crazy video. So the networks compromised, put the video up on their websites for 24 hours as breaking news, and then took it down. And I think that was actually a good call because it left no doubt in anyone's mind that this was a very disturbed individual rather than a kind of knowing murderer.
Once it's been published, though, you can never. Once it goes on the internet, people are going to copy it, and you can never get rid of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the big ethical. It's a weighty ethical question before publishing anything onto the internet. You can take it down from your own site.
You don't know where it's going.
But you don't know where it's going already.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no easy answer. The important thing is that you ask the question every time.
Well, one thing to ask from here, what's your personal opinion on that? When it was taken back to 9/11 when you said that there shouldn't be any footage of people jumping out. What do you think?
I think it's part of the story, but I don't think you want it to be the sensational part of the story. I think it is part of history, and you can't make history go away. But I also think that it depends a lot on the package you are putting together.
That was going to be my point.
Yeah.
It's a matter of weighing up the balances. How important are your images or descriptions of people jumping to the whole context of the story that you're telling at the time? If you're only putting it up because it is a fascinating piece of footage or a great photo, you need to ask yourself, what does this actually add to the purpose of why we're telling the story as much as anything. So you say, are we only, you know, my view would be, I'm trying to work out how the stories would run, and I'm also trying to work out what the real value of that is there. I think I would suspect most people want to run it because it's great images,
And it'll get readers, right? It'll
Yeah,
get-
yeah.
And that's wrong.
and I'd probably be leaning to not showing them, but you'd have to look at the whole thing in context.
Right, we need to wrap it up because these guys need to be at the press in 10 minutes and we won't be getting them there.
Well,
But there's a group waiting for them. So thank you very much, guys.
thank you
Pleasure.
all.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
I hope
I've
you.
listened to it.
I know, we can talk about this all day.
I know.
As we will on the weekend.
Oh, well, wait, I should say www.dartcenter.org is the website, and there's all kinds of tip sheets, resources.
We actually have that up on the big screen here now.
Good.
You're too good, you're too good, you're too good.
And we've videoed this talk as well, so we could pop that up on YouTube for you guys to have a look at.
Oh, great, thank you.
Put some faces to the...
Okay, good.
Thanks very much for joining in, guys.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thanks very much.
One quick thing, could you just tell me the spelling of your name?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I was going to notice that someone's got my name wrong. It's Gary with one R,
Yeah.
Tippet, one T.
And I'm
Okay.
Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, Shapiro, S-H-A-P-I-R-O.
And your position is?
And I am executive director, and I can even leave a business card.
Oh, that would be good.
Undersold you, Bruce.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
so
Good luck
much.
with the careers.
Thank you.
Yeah, we won't be able to do a straw.
Yeah.
Right. We'll continue this discussion next week, maybe?
Yeah.
See you guys.
Is it C-A? Is his name Bruce?
Bruce.
Oh, it looks like it's Sam.
Did you get the spelling of that first guy's last name? It's so fast.
Tippet.
He's so angry.
I'm so scared.
He's like, should we keep it?
Don't you say that.
At the door. My notebook.